Well, this is New Year's Day, and as you can see, I'm out doing my walk. You guys are doing well, but welcome back to my channel. Just thought I'd show you this little park that's in the neighborhood. It's really nice. The weather's fabulous today. Like I promised myself, every day, try to do something that can be valuable to your future, valuable to your health, valuable to your overall well-being. I hope everybody had a safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day beginning. You know, I found that as these New Year's tick by, and just how grateful I am. Oh, there's a stirrup over there. How grateful I am for the time that God has put us here, you know, to spend time with friends and family, neighbors. All those that they're in your sphere of influence. And I think if we start off this year with what is it saying? Attitude of gratitude. Seems like when you start your day off that way, that's a good way to start. Why not maybe start the whole year that way too? Could be just what you need. Just what I need. To see things differently, sure. To see it as a fresh start. Fresh philosophy, a fresh attitude. I mean, think about it. This life that we live every day, every minute, God blesses us with. This life that we live, it gets dusty, it gets dirty. You know, we're kind of grinding sometimes. You need to be refreshed, renewed, and kind of a restart. Kind of like your computer or your phone, right? Sometimes it just starts to bog down. You're thinking, wow, my phone sure is acting up. And then simple as turning it off for a few minutes, letting it reboot, you start, and wow, then everything seems to be working great. Now, if you run into that problem, or with your computer, computer's notorious for that. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just out here starting the day, or starting the new year, starting this day with a reboot. Now, it doesn't do any good if we do it once and then stop. It definitely has to be that discipline that we've been talking about. The disciplines that you sometimes will ignore. And as we ignore those moments, then we start to getting into the negative disciplines. Maybe sitting around too much, spending too much time on your social media or TV or shopping, whatever pulls your way, because everybody has different hobbies. Well, my hobby this year, I want to make sure it's a focus on what am I doing right now, this minute, that could be valuable to the future. Because the major key, this is a quote from a book I read, the major key to our better future is us. Our attitude, how we handle difficulties, how we handle challenges, problems. Do we let those things slow us down? Do we look at that problem as an opportunity? Or do we start to have a pity party? I can tell you from experience that I used to do a lot of complaining, moaning. Oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? Well, why not me? It's got to happen to somebody sometimes. So we'll keep walking. Enjoy the view. We're gonna walk. What a pretty place to walk, right? Now, as we had mentioned on a few videos before, that the goal would be to start to get some, put some content that is about activity included, not just me sitting behind a desk or sitting in a vehicle. Yeah, that's okay too. But I wanted to give you some insight, some of the things that we do. Great, the way I look at it, a great quote from the good book, the Bible, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, tells us we should trust in the Lord with all our heart, not lean on our own understanding. So we're always trying to understand everything, always trying to figure everything out. Sometimes we just put it in His hands. And it seems when we do that, it takes the pressure off of us. Now we do need to contribute. We need to take care of ourselves and our mind. And if we're blessed with a great job, we need to make sure that we're doing a quality job. And whatever we're doing, we should do it with excellence, right? The best that we can. Whatever we do, we want people to say, hey, that person did a great job on that. My grandfather used to always say, leave things better than the way you found them. He's a wise man. Whatever you get, wherever you go, whatever you do, let's say you go to, stay at a hotel room. Don't leave it messy. Leave it better than you found it. Wipe something down. Pick up something. Clean something up. That way, wherever you go, you're leaving a profit. That's the word. You go, I know occasionally I'll go out to eat. Let's say it's kind of a casual restaurant where you order your food and you go sit down. If I go to the table and it's already dirty, I'll clean that table. I'll eat there and then I'll clean it again. And I want to try to leave it better than I found it. Now, that's not saying that I'm doing something great, but I think if we all kind of have that mentality, that view and that vision of what, if we do that every time, things will improve for a lot of us. So it's one of those things I'm trying to increase and employ this year more than ever. Whatever we do, wherever we go, whatever we buy, whatever we give away, leave it better than you found it. That's good advice from my grandfather. He was, I think he lived till he was 87. Wise person. Speaking of him, another thing he taught me, which I didn't listen to. I'll never forget this one. I didn't obey it. Now I know why. I should have. Was he said, hey, he tells me, he said, hey, listen, whenever you buy a vehicle, never finance it. Always buy your vehicles cash. I thought, wow, how am I gonna have all that cash? So, of course, I did just the opposite. As I was growing up, I financed. And can I tell you that that's a whole nother story? I had some financial wars, difficulties, and problems because of some of the choices I was making. If I would have just paid attention to those things. But, you know, sometimes you learn from experience, and that's the best way to learn. But if I would have just taken his advice, he was 87, I should have said, he knows what he's talking about. But I thought, well, things have changed. I'm going to finance. Anyhow, that tells you my stance on financing. There's a great Bible verse about financing. It says in, I think it's Proverbs 22:7. I believe you can double check, but I think it's in that area. It says that the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. Yikes. Slave, that's the word it uses. Slave. Well, if you recall what my grandfather said, you know, don't borrow money. He knew this already. Because think about it, if you're buying a vehicle, you finance it, you know, if you miss one payment, they can come pick up your vehicle. Or worse than that, if you pay that car all the way down to the last payment, let's say you got $100 left on your final payment, and you do not pay it, unfortunately, they can take that vehicle away from you. So what does that passage say? The rich rule over the poor. The borrower is a slave to the lender. So they rule you until you pay that off. It is not yours. So that was his point to me. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Well, now it is. Before I thought it was inaccurate. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. And speaking of financing cars, just cars in general are just liabilities. You know, I always hear my friends or people I know say, "Oh, but that car I bought, I just made a great investment." I'm thinking, you realize a car is not an investment. It's not an asset. It's a liability. Complete 100% liability. Forever. If you own it. But I know it's needed. It's necessary. I'm not against it.
So her family is just as chaotic as yours. Like they've got the past.
So, what's the moral of the story? Well, as I have made mistakes and matured and made errors, my recommendation, if at all possible, if you don't have the money to buy something, don't buy it. If you don't have the money, wait, save, try to find another way. Because you'll pay now and pay later. My goal is that you can save for later. Because if you think about it, on a car payment, now I think the average car payment now is around $500 a month, maybe even higher. Maybe it's $600 now because of inflation. Maybe let's just say $500. In 1 year, if you save that $500 and just manage without a vehicle, if you can, that's $6,000. Isn't it? I know 6,000 won't buy you anything fancy, but I know it buys you a car. It will buy you a car. And if you buy a car for 6,000 in 1 year, just cash, then you keep driving it, take care of it the best you can, save another 6,000, and hopefully what you bought, you can sell it again for something similar because you've only had it for a year, and now you've got enough for maybe a $10,000 car. You get the idea. Now, I know there's hardships, difficulties, and there's some times that you just can't do that. And everybody says, well, I just have to finance. I understand. But I can only give you, from my experience, get other people's opinions, experiences, and compare it and see what you find. But that's it for today. I'm going to let you get back at it. I'm going to do a couple more laps. You guys have a great New Year. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.